Welcome, everybody, to the Shadowed City podcast. This is The Shadows Within. I am your host, Larry, and we got some shows to go over. Now, today, there was some shows that happened in the other day that went down. I will be going over IZW, TXT, and EWS Black Market recent card coming up. But not right now. But I will go over them later today. If not today, it will be today. That is the goal. And if something happens, it will probably be tomorrow. But I will get through those today. But right now I have EWS Black Market 3. I have ASW, All-Star Pro, and WCCW to go over. And we are going to start with EWS Black Market Episode 3. Was a good show. If you missed it, go check it out. And to kick off the shows for the EWS Soul Championship, Paige Crucial versus Ren Blade, with Paige Crucial becoming the champion. International Coalition Nightmare, Rico Vega and Kenshiro Rain versus Nightmare, Krampus, and Santa Claus, with Rico Vega and Kenshiro Rain walking out victorious. Non-title matchup, Laura Little versus Raven Havoc, in EWS rules, with Laura Little walking out victorious. Starlight versus Hyacinth, EWS rules, with Starlight walking out victorious. Taylor Valentine versus Eli Havoc in EWS rules, with Taylor Valentine walking out victorious. And in the main event, Tag Team Championships elimination matchup, The Crucials versus the champions, Little Des Moines Dynasty, with The Crucials becoming the new champions. Now, we are going to go over WCCW. The first card for WCCW, my apologies. Get my words botched sometimes. Hold on. Tornado Tag. The WCCW World Tag Team Champions, Heirs of Tarus, versus Bree, with Shay Flems and Bree teamed up with Tiffany against the Heirs of Tarus, with the Heirs of Tarus walking away victorious. WCCW All-American Women's Championship on the line. Dynamite Daisy versus the champion Dishy, with Dishy retaining the gold. Todd Wilson, the villain, versus the Grave Assassin, Jack Graves, with Jack Graves walking out victorious. Next up, a triple threat tornado tag team matchup. Roxanne Red and Gabrielle Salas versus WCCW Gucci Divas champion Baby, also known as Baby Bone Crusher, versus Miss D, Miss Demeanor, versus Dawn and Lauren Casanova Castro, with Baby Bone Crusher and Ms. D walking out victorious. The Outsiders versus The Outsider 2 versus Sean Murphy, with The Outsider 2 walking out victorious. Steel Cage, Sky Winters versus Tia Rose, with Tia Rose walking out victorious. Pitbull Marshall versus Walter Reeves, with Pitbull Marshall walking out victorious. Cali Red versus Black Jade, but that ended in a DQ after Cassie Red interfered in the matchup and she brawled with her sister after the match, ending up in a DQ disqualification. And in the main event, it was a submission between Vampiro and Dimebag Dan, with Dimebag Dan walking out victorious. Now, for the next WCCW show, it was Big Fran versus Dawn, with Dawn walking out victorious. Tyson Dixon versus CJ Frost, with Tyson Dixon walking out victorious. Diamond Rose versus Pamela P. Platinum, with Paul Heyman at her side, with Pamela P. Platinum walking out victorious. Cassidy Lysandra Red, who interfered in her sister's match on the last show of WCCW, had a match against her sister, with Callie walking out victorious. A steel cage fatal four-way between SVN, Walter Reeves, Pierce Perch, and Shadow Uchua. And in the end, it was Pierce Perch walking out victorious. Boots versus the Monarch, with the Monarch walking out victorious. And in the main event, it was John Wigginton the Badass versus Big Time, with John Wigginton walking out victorious. Now to move on to ASW. Hold on. All right. Excuse me. Ink Slinger versus RJ, with Ink Slinger walking out victorious. Bertha versus HBIC Nisha, with HBIC Nisha walking out victorious. Jack Graves, the Grave Assassin, versus King DMX, with King DMX walking out victorious. Have a good day, Grandpa. Roxanne Red versus Sylvia Knight, with Sylvia Knight walking out victorious.
I'll ultimately get you something for dinner.
Okay.
I don't know how late it'll be.
Okay.
Gino's got a real bad toothache, so
Okay.
I'll ask you to do anything.
Now, where was I, ladies and gentlemen? Joshua Shade versus Travis Turner, with Joshua Shade walking out victorious. ASW Men's Tag Team Championships defended in a fatal four-way. Here were the teams: Damian Briggs and Jay Smoke versus Oconee and Jackson Wright versus the Red Wolves, John Robb and Nexus versus the champions, the Asylum, with Damian Briggs and Jay Smoke becoming the new champions. Fatal four-way: Mad King versus the Badass John Wigginton versus Wallace versus El Padrino Savage Vega. The match got cut because of some issues with 2K, so I call that a no contest, but it was a crazy matchup. Reed Hicks versus Dimebag Dan in the main event, with Dimebag Dan walking out victorious. Now, to go over All-Star Pro Season 3, Episode 38, a Brawl for All tournament. Jay Red versus Big Lou, with Big Lou walking out victorious, advancing to the second round. Jake King versus Jimmy Kane, with Jimmy Kane advancing to the second round. Travell Daniel versus Ronan Reaper, with Ronan Reaper advancing to the second round. Cold Steel versus Shinjo, with Cold Steel advancing to the second round. Big Lou versus Jimmy Kane, with Big Lou advancing to the finals. Ronan Reaper versus Cold Steel, with Ronan Reaper advancing to the finals. In the finals, it was Ronan Reaper versus Big Lou, with Ronan Reaper walking out victorious. Now, that is what I had to go over at the moment. Like I said, I will be going over the upcoming show for EWS Black Market Episode 4, which will be coming in the near future. And I will be going over TXT and IZW's recent shows that passed. And today is SPW Syndicate Pro Wrestling. Enter the Underground 5, so stay tuned for that. But I hope everybody has a great day. Good. Also, I will be going over the recent dogfight that happened in the near future. Stay tuned for that as well. And I hope everybody has a great day, good night, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever y'all may be. Peace out.